Arthur Vance had built his restaurant empire from nothing, but tonight he wasn't a CEO. Dressed in a worn jacket, he was just another customer, seeking shelter from the rain at his own flagship restaurant. He'd received troubling complaints, and he needed to see the truth for himself. What he was about to discover would shake him to his core. The hostess barely looked up from her phone. As he sat, Arthur watched the dinner rush. The smiles on his staff seemed forced, the laughter hollow. This wasn't the warm, family atmosphere he'd built. Then he saw her, a waitress in her early 40s. Her name tag read Eleanor. While other servers rushed, Eleanor moved with a quiet grace, genuinely listening to her customers. But Arthur saw the exhaustion in her eyes, and the way her younger colleagues would whisper and roll their eyes when she passed. He watched her handle a difficult customer with incredible patience, then saw her step into a small alcove. For a moment, when she thought no one was watching, her composure cracked. Her hands trembled as she wiped her eyes. This dedicated employee was quietly crying. Arthur's chest tightened. He watched as she quickly composed herself and returned to her tables, that same gentle smile hiding the tremor in her hands. When she passed his table, he called to her softly. "You seem to really care about this place," he said gently. Pride filled her voice. 8 years. Mr. Vance gave me a chance after my husband passed. This job, it saved my daughter and me. Arthur felt a pang of guilt. He remembered that hiring decision, but he'd never followed up. Before he could respond, the manager, a sharp-faced man named Marcus, appeared. "Eleanor, you're needed in the kitchen," he said, his tone curt and dismissive. Throughout the evening, Arthur watched Marcus treat his staff like they were disposable, publicly embarrassing a young server and sneering at Eleanor's suggestions. The breaking point came when Eleanor quietly approached Marcus about her schedule. "If you can't handle the hours, maybe you should find another job." Marcus snapped, loud enough for everyone to hear. Eleanor's face flushed with shame, and she ducked back into the alcove. The tears no longer easy to stop. Arthur couldn't sit still any longer. He called Eleanor back to his table. "You mentioned you have a daughter," he began softly. Her face brightened. "She's a senior, an honor student. She's my everything." Then her expression clouded. "But with my hours being cut, I don't know how I'll help with her college tuition." "Cut hours?" Arthur asked. Eleanor explained the new management philosophy. Fewer full-time employees to lower benefit costs. She used to work 40 hours a week. Now she was lucky to get 25. "I love this job," she whispered, her voice filled with desperation. "But I don't know how much longer I can make it." Just then, Marcus stormed over. "Eleanor, I'm not paying you to chat with customers. You have side work to finish." "Actually," he said, his voice carrying a quiet authority that silenced the room, "I'd like to know more about this new management philosophy." Marcus looked irritated. "Sir, we're closed. You need to settle your bill. My name is Arthur Vance," he said simply, "and I own this restaurant." The silence was deafening. The color drained from Marcus's face. Eleanor's eyes went wide. "That's exactly the point," Arthur continued, his gaze locked on Marcus. "You had no idea I was here, so I got to see how you really run my business. How you treat the people who are its heart." He turned to Eleanor. 8 years ago, I promised you'd be part of a family here, that you'd be valued. Instead, I got so busy building an empire that I forgot why I started." He faced Marcus again. "Cutting hours to avoid benefits. Treating loyal employees like they're disposable." Arthur pulled out his phone. "Patricia, it's Arthur. Process a termination for Marcus, effective immediately." He looked at Marcus. "You can clear out your office tonight." Then he sat back down with Eleanor. "If you could change anything about this restaurant, what would it be?" And slowly, this waitress who had been made to feel invisible began to describe the soul of hospitality that had been quietly dying. 3 months later, the restaurant hummed with genuine warmth. Eleanor, now the assistant manager, approached Arthur with a confident smile. "Customer satisfaction scores are the highest they've been in 3 years, she reported. Arthur's greatest joy, however, came from the new employee family scholarship fund he'd created, which was now paying for Eleanor's daughter's nursing school tuition in full. "I never thought I'd be able to help other families the way you helped mine," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Arthur smiled. "You taught me something too, Eleanor." "I'd forgotten that the numbers don't mean anything if you lose the human connection that makes it all worthwhile." He had learned that sometimes the most valuable asset in any business is the heart you forgot you hired.